guys, it's Maggie. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit. I took a week off for Thanksgiving. I had a really great break and I hope you guys did too. And I want you guys to know I've still been doing some DIYs over on my Instagram. I've been posting reels. So if you want to see more content like in between the YouTube videos, definitely check out my Instagram. I'm considering getting into TikTok, we'll see. But I've been thinking I want to do some of my smaller scale crafts as Instagram reels instead of YouTube videos. So if you see me posting less frequent YouTube videos, I'm probably posting a lot of reels, so be sure to check out my Instagram and follow me there. I'll link it down below. In today's video, I'm making this really cute headband. I thought it would make a great Christmas gift, and I'm really into the puffy headband trend, but not like the super tall ones. I just did like one layer of foam and I think that's good enough. I found the tutorial on A Beautiful Mess, which is a blog, and I'll link it down below. All right, let's jump right into the tutorial. The first thing you're going to need for this tutorial is a 1/2-inch piece of foam and some headband blanks. I will link all the supplies I used down below for you guys, and a tape measure. You definitely want this bendy tape measure because you need to measure the length of your entire headband. Once you have that length, lay it down on your foam and mark either end. I had already marked it. And also go ahead and mark the midpoint. Next, measure the widest part of your headband, which should be the very top, and you're going to want to center up that width with your midpoint dot. So for instance, if my width were 2, I'd want to line up the 1-inch mark with the midpoint dot, so there's 1 inch on either side, and mine was actually pretty close to 2 inches. Next, you're going to do the same thing, measuring the width of the very bottom of your headband, and then you're going to center up that width with the dots you marked first. Now take a Sharpie and you can draw an arch connecting all of your dots. So I cut mine out like normal and everything was great, but then I kind of got like crazy on the trimming and I trimmed off way too much. So I ended up having to cut out a couple more pieces of foam until I got it right. Now you need to taper off the ends because you don't want it to be super puffy behind your ears. So I took my scissors and I tapered off about the bottom inch of either side. Don't worry if it's kind of bumpy because we're going to glue the cut side down. Now take your hot glue gun, mine was being difficult, and put some glue on either the foam or the headband and start attaching. Remember to glue the cut side down. And you have your foam on your headband. So this next step is kind of repeating what we did in the beginning when we were cutting the foam. Get a really long piece of paper. I actually just taped 2 pieces of copy paper together. You're going to want to measure the length of your headband now that you have the foam on. Once you have that length, measure it out on the paper and you're going to want to mark both ends and the very center, so the halfway point. Next, just like before, you're going to measure the width of your headband at the widest part at the very top. Once you have that width, you might want to write it down and grab a calculator. This is where it got kind of confusing with the fractions and I had to get Logan to help me. But you're going to divide that width in half. Now that you have half the width, find the halfway point that you marked on your paper and measure up that distance you just calculated. And again, like before, you're also going to measure the width of the very bottom of your headband. You're going to divide that width in half and then find your ends that you marked on your piece of paper and measure up that distance. Now you're going to draw an arc connecting all of these dots, and then you just cut it out, and this is your pattern. This is the velvet I got off of Etsy. It was the one used in the tutorial, just a different color, and I highly recommend this fabric. You really need a stretchy fabric to get around this headband, so this is a stretchy velvet. Now fold your fabric in right sides together and place your pattern on the fold. I would definitely pin it so that it doesn't slide around, and take your fabric scissors and cut out your fabric. Once it's cut out, make sure to pin it all together, and now you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and sew it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and make sure you leave a 1 to 2 inch gap at the bottom so that you can flip your fabric back out. After you sew it together, go ahead and flip it out and try putting it on your headband. Once your fabric fits the way you want it to, you can go ahead and hand sew the gap closed. I'll have to look up what the technical term of this stitch is called. I think it's called an invisible stitch. So I fold a tiny bit over on either side of the gap, pinch it together, and then I take my needle in. Instead of like your typical stitch, like perpendicular, you actually do it parallel and slide it through. So hopefully you can see that in this video. And I just sewed it together, tied a little knot, and you can barely even tell. And that's it for the padded headband tutorial. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this headband. I don't know, puffy headband, tall headband. I don't know the right terminology. I'll figure it out before I post this video. But I hope you had fun learning how to make this headband. Oh, there's sun all over my face. Nobody told me. Just forgive me. All right, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.